The following Basic Techniques article is brought to you by Scrapbooking.com magazine from the September 2012 issue. Square 1, Endings, Beginnings, and Making Your Own Rainbows by author and artist Judy Kaufman. I was once a weaver. Sketch to shawl, skein to scarf, yarn occupied my days. But interests change. Our bodies change. Last week, I said farewell to my beloved 50-inch cherry 4-harness Norwood loom. It's now at the Weave House in Decatur, Georgia, part of a program called Reloom, run by the Initiative for Affordable Housing. Recently, I said goodbye to another old friend, too, Ranger Big and Juicy Rainbow ink pads. When I learned they were discontinued, I felt a huge sense of loss. This was the pad I turned to for more cards, envelopes, and postcards than I can count. The color combinations, perfection. So long, Spice. Mountain Meadow, how I'll miss you. All right, before you think I'm being melodramatic, let me be clear. I recognize that saying goodbye to an inanimate object is not the same as losing a friend, family member, or beloved pet. These are minor compared to life's real problems. But while I'm happy the loom is in new hands, letting go of it officially ends an important part of my life. I got along without Big and Juicy Rainbows before I discovered them and will survive now that they are no longer available. But I will miss them. A lot. I suspect that everyone has felt this way now and then. When a favorite lipstick or bra is discontinued, what woman wouldn't feel just a bit gloomy? We put on our big girl selves and move on. Being both an optimist and a realist, while I'm saying my goodbyes, I'm also looking straight ahead to what is next. As of today, I'm going to start making my own rainbows. Rainbow ink pads, that is. Care to join me? Ranger's Big and Dry Jumbo Dry Raised Felt Pads are the same size as the original Big and Juicy Rainbow ink pads, but you can make smaller rainbow pads if you prefer. Choose re-inkers that please your eye. If you don't want to buy inks before deciding on a color combination, experiment with markers, colored pencils, or watercolors, whatever you have on hand. Remember though, ink on a felt pad will work differently from these other media. But then again, it's the unknown part of the equation that's a big part of the fun. Inks will automatically mix where they overlap, and where they overlap, a third color appears. Look at a color wheel to help you plan a combination. You can choose colors that are adjacent to each other on the wheel, are complementary to each other, pick several shades of a single hue, red, cranberry, cordovan, or turn to other sources for inspiration. Nature is an excellent starting point. The amount of ink you need depends on the size of the pad you're inking and the number of colors you're using for the rainbow. More colors equals less of each ink. Fewer colors, more ink per color. It's wise to start with less ink than you think you'll need rather than adding too much. Inks look different on the pad than they do when in use. For example, Sunshine Yellow looks orange, while Oregano, Pesto, Bottle, and Meadow look almost identical, all very dark. Inks need a bit of time to soak into the felt, so close the lid and let it sit for a while before you put it to use. And as long as you're making a custom pad, be sure to give your personal rainbow a custom name. A printable project card with instructions and a list of supplies can be found by clicking on the step-by-step instructions link within the online version of this article. To find the products featured in this article and shown in these layouts, check with your local scrapbook retailer. Browse our premier retail stores for coupons to a store near you. We hope you enjoyed this article from Scrapbooking.com magazine. For more creative inspiration, be sure to check out all of the great articles and projects in this month's issue.